Well, hey, how's everybody doing? Figured I'd make a quick update video on what I've been doing to this thing. I am going to make a review video of the exhaust system I put on here because it's really good. But anyway, been working on it, doing too many things to talk about tonight. It's really late. I got to get to bed, but put a heater in it, one of them hot rod heater deals. Still got to seal off around there a little better and do that kind of stuff. I do need a longer bolt for my air breather. Yes, I know that's upside down. It's because the bolt's like an inch too short. I got street tires on it. Took the drag radials off of it. Got street tires on it all the way around. Yeah, that's going to be hilarious. Like I said, the inside of it, got a heater box right there. You probably can't see it, it's dark. I got a reaction camera mount, that way I got a GoPro facing backwards to where when I take somebody for a ride and I hit the gas for the first time, I can get it on video. Also got a new solid camera mount right there. It's probably hard to see, to get a better angle for out the windshield. I don't know. Trying to make better videos with this thing, so I'm going to be driving it a lot, I'd say. Yeah, I got heat in it. Got a three-way heater switch right there that I probably should have mounted underneath instead of up top, but you know, it's like real easy to move, so I'll do that later. Still need to tidy up that rat's nest of wiring under there, because there's just a whole bunch of wiring under there. So yeah, tidy up the wiring a little more, you know, add zip ties. I got probably 150 pounds of tools in the back. I got a toolbox and then a milk crate full of a couple toolboxes and some wrenches and stuff, you know, just in case. I am going to drive it to work tomorrow, just because, you know, I want to. And that's what I'm doing this for. The exhaust though, I'll walk around the back of it real quick to show you. The exhaust is awesome. It goes all the way out the back. You know, got an exhaust pipe on each side. You're probably not going to be able to see anything. It's just too dark in here, even though I got lights everywhere. You know, should have took that off. I'm trying to make it look not like a race car. Like I want to get a bed cover or something, like one of the fiberglass covers that comes up and over. I think it'll clear that fuel cell. If not, I'll cut the floor and drop it down. But I want to kind of hide some of this stuff and make it not so noticeable that it's like this. I don't know how to hide a lot of that. I'm going to have to do something drastic with the hood. Obviously get a smaller air filter. I want to put the butterfly scoop back on there because it looks cool. I know it's got a little tiny air filter and it kills fire, but it looks really cool. And to be honest, I don't think it kills that much fire driving around town, because, you know, you don't really ever touch the gas pedal driving around town. The tow bar on the front of it, I was going to take that off, and I was thinking to myself, well, you know what? I could totally just leave that on. I know it don't look great, but if I leave that on there and something ever happens and it breaks down, all I got to do is leave the keys in the van when I leave, you know, and I'm driving this, and call somebody, tell them, hey, get my van, grab the tow bar, come pick me up, and I'll just hook this thing up to my van and drag it home. Not a big deal. So I got my own tow truck built in right on the front of this thing. I ain't planning on breaking down, but you know, fuel pump goes out or carburetor float sinks, or I mean, I got enough tools where I'm pretty daggone prepared to do, you know, quite a bit of work. You know, I could probably take the engine out of this thing. I got enough tools to do it. But if like a fuel line blows or a hose starts leaking or something stupid to where, you know, God forbid something happens to where I'm broke down and I can't fix it, now I got a really easy solution right there in the front of my truck to get it home with. So all I gotta do is pull the drive shaft, zip tie it up out of the way, hook the tow bar on, truck down the road. One thing I do need to do is get a spare tire, a jack and a four-way in case I have a flat tire. them back tires are bye-bye, you know. They're not gonna last long, but it's gonna be a lot of fun to drive around town. The exhaust, like, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, I really like the exhaust setup. The muffler looks awesome. It looks solid, it's heavy, you know, high quality stuff, except for it's ear-piercing loud. It's still just so daggone loud. It's not even funny. You guys are gonna see it in the video real shortly, I'm sure, but yeah, for now I'm going to air up the drag radials of like 20 psi and probably throw one of them in the back for a spare, and there may be two of them for just a little bit of weight. You know, it don't hurt having a little bit of weight in this thing. Kind of helps tame it out a little bit. But anyway, y'all have a good one. I will see you in the next video. I figured I'd just make a quick update on this thing, and so y'all know what's going on. You know, I know I drove it in the shop the other day and made a video about a big box in the floor that, you know, like I said, I'm going to do a review on that exhaust. That's why I'm not really touching on it too much tonight. That, and it's like literally probably 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning right now, because I've just been turning wrenches on this all night pretty much, trying to get it ready to drive tomorrow. Like I said, the only thing I couldn't do right was the air breather, and that's because the bolt wasn't long enough. I got all thread that's all, you know, exactly like 1 inch too short. So that bolt right there I made for that the old air filter that got damaged on the work truck. That was actually a metric bolt out of an old Chinese four-wheeler or something, and I literally cut 5/16 standard threads over the bolt. It was bigger than a 3/8, so I had plenty of metal there. You know, I just kind of ground it down and cut my own bolt, and it's working great. I mean, it's fine. It's just I don't have anything else to make a longer bolt out of right now, so that's really bugging me that that's upside down. I don't know if you can tell or not, but anyway, everything else seems just fine. So yeah, one thing I'm going to have to do in the future is get a bigger trans cooler, but I'm not worried about that right at the moment. It's, you know, cold outside, so the only thing I'm worried about is this thing going to start, because it does not like to start up when it's cold. If I do drive it to work, I'm going to have to, like, you know, drive it to work, shut it off, work for a little bit, like go out about an hour later and fire it up and let it run for a couple minutes and make sure I start it up every now and then until I get a little bit comfortable with it, you know, how it's going to act. And it could be one of the things I start in the morning and it'll be fine in the afternoon when I leave to go home, or it could be really hard to start. Like sometimes that engine just won't start when it's cold. So I know this is like a limited deal. I'm not going to be able to do this and drive this around for long, but if I swap the cam and lifters out and put more of a mild camshaft in there that actually pulls the vacuum at idle, that's the problem. The engine ain't pulling a vacuum when it's not running, so it's real hard to get the fuel where it needs to go. Once it fires up, you know, the blower starts forcing air and fuel in there, and it fires up and runs okay, and you can keep it running. But that initial getting it to fire off, I mean, you got to put a gallon of fuel in the daggone thing, it seems like. Anyway, I was supposed to shut this video off a minute ago. I'm sitting here rambling. I'm like real tired. I woke up at, you know, early this morning, worked all day, came home, worked on this all day, and figured I'd make a video real quick before I went to bed. Called it a night here, shut down the shop. But the only thing I got to do to drive it is fire it up, get the air out of the system, put more antifreeze in it, and truck on down the road. So y'all take it easy. I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to try to stick a GoPro up in this thing, get a little bit of footage of it driving, or do something tomorrow maybe. It depends on what's going on at work and how busy I am, and you know, depends on a lot of things, but we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to like the highway because of the low gearing and the 3-speed transmission, so see how that goes. Take her easy. See you in the next one.